Welcome back to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. We are recording this on July 4th, 2021. Born on the 4th of July. Someone out there is born on the 4th of July, and it's not Lee Priest, but Lee Priest is joining me today for this very special episode because I'm going to Sunsplash Park tomorrow with the kids. So no one can record, and Chris Aceto will get divorced if I make him do the radio show today. So I said I'm going to call Lee. Lee is in Australia. They don't give a fuck about the July 4th holiday.
My nephew. It was my nephew's birthday yesterday. It was the 4th of July.
Oh, that's cool.
My birthday's tomorrow, the 6th of July, which is a bigger celebration.
I know it technically is.
It should
in our
be,
community, it probably is.
See how good I am, Dave? I was actually at the gym. I just trained for an hour 45. I said, you know what? I'll do some treadmill. I just turned the treadmill on and got a text saying, can you do the show? So I drove home to do the show.
Oh, I didn't know you drove. Oh, that's very nice of you. I appreciate that.
And you're still fucking late. You said 15, 20 minutes. It's been 40.
I went downstairs. I went downstairs to just the biggest mistake is when I go into my snake room for I always say I'm going to go in there for 30 seconds. My wife's like, that's an hour. That's an hour. She's like, because I went in there and there was actually one of my snakes actually had a litter. I actually had a mail-in. I didn't even know she was even pregnant. I just walked in there and I'm trying to just change some paper towels that were really dirty. And I'm like, it's really dirty in this tub. And the thing's trying to bite my hand off. And they never bite me. They know me. And so usually the only time they get that defensive is when they have a litter. So I said, I'm going to lift up the hide box. I lifted up. There's a bunch of there's 10 babies under there. So
wow, look at that. Well, congratulations.
Born on the 4th of July. There we go. So everyone's.
There you go.
We do have some birthdays in the Palumbo household today. One of the
10 of them.
Yeah, 10. 10 little mouths to feed again. Added to my three wonderful kids already. So let me ask you this question. I'm always curious, do other countries acknowledge when America has holidays more so than we? I know we don't acknowledge when anyone else has holidays, but do you guys acknowledge our holidays at all?
America doesn't acknowledge fucking anyone else.
No, we don't give a fuck about it. We're totally selfish. We only care about ourselves.
You're like, what? There's other countries? There are? What? There's
I noticed all the Canadians have been wishing me happy 4th of July, and that's pretty nice of them because they also that it shouldn't really affect them at all either.
Well, I get a lot of Americans wishing me happy 4th of July, even though.
Well, you lived here for quite a while, so I guess you were adopted.
Yeah, but I think even when you get back to Jim in the flat Earth theory, I'm surprised that Americans even discuss that because Americans probably just think there's America and nothing else. There's no Earth. There's nothing.
There's an ice wall around us. That's right. Somehow the Mexican people get over the ice wall, but no one else can. I don't know how they do.
America's just like an asteroid floating through the universe, just one country. That's all it is.
Oh boy! Well, we have the NPC Team Universe, or they call it now the NPC Universe, this week, and where we had a lot of pro cards given out. I wanted to ask you about this. Now, you won the NABA Universe, which is the original title of the universe, the one that Arnold won. And now, they used to have a show called the NPC Team Universe, which would field a team that would go to the universe in Europe. Obviously, now we don't because when Rafael Santoja split with Jim Manion, there's no more universe. But so they just call this show now the NPC Universe, and they give pro cards there and everything like that. Now, some people take offense to that because they say that it's not really the universe, but I don't think it really matters. What is your take on that as a former NABA Universe winner?
Well, it's not really the universe. They can call it that, but it's not really the universe. It's like when they have don't people put on the natural Mr. Olympia and call it the natural Mr. Olympia? It's not really the Mr. Olympia. But
John Hanson's not really Mr. Olympia, right? Exactly.
Yeah, but people say I'm Mr. Olympia. It's just like you see some people walking around who are looking like not even top classic guys saying I'm Mr. Universe, and people go, "Oh, really?" It's like, wow, standards dropped.
Well, the wellness girls are Miss Universe too, right? So
exactly. So
it's like girls.
People are in the know, but the general public don't. I guess if you've won one of those and it's not the real one, you can say you're Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe. People go, "Wow, congratulations!" Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well, it's like with all the pro cards that are given out now too. Like I got nothing against it if they want to make money, but back in our day, Dave, the people are going to say, "Oh, fuck, here we go." Back in your day, when you went somewhere or you saw someone, you could go into a gym and go, "That guy's a pro." Just by looking at them, you knew they were professional. Now, people come up to you. You've probably had it. People come up to me and go, "Hi, Lee, I'm such and such. I got a pro card." I'm like, Oh well, you must be good at darts, are you? Fucking or snooker or something, pool table. But it's like I said too. When you're going to come online, Facebook or whatever,
Right.
and you're going to put, say, Jeremy Smith, IFBB pro. When you're going to tell someone you're a fucking pro, it's time to get out of the fucking sport. It's like, Jesus, I got to put it in my name so everybody knows. Because back in the day,
I've been saying this for a while now. They got to make something that's like a little above a pro, like maybe like if you place like top 10 at the Olympia, you get another title. I don't know what you would call it, but Supreme Pro or something like that, like the Supreme Ruler, Snook from Star Wars.
Is that like a pizza? Is it?
Like, yeah,
you're a pro plus.
That's right. Right, you're you're like a higher level pro, like the major leagues, minor leagues. Minor leagues in baseball is still pro baseball, but it's not really, you're not really on TV or anything like that.
You're like a pro with a AAA rating or something. You got to have after.
You know what though, Lee? I've seen guys win pro cards at Masters, or girls win, and then they go on and they actually wind up on the Olympia stage, in the Open, and then they do well, and so. You never know. I mean, so I've toiled with this thing in my head are more pros that they're better or worse? And you know what? The sport has evolved and changed. So I embrace that change because I think that more business for the sport. I think business is important for the sport. If there's no business model around the sport, and people can't make money from the sport. I'm not talking because the elite guys will always make money with prize money, but that's only like 10 guys in the world. So if everyone else around the sport can make more money because now there's more pros, there's more people competing, so they need more coaches and more posing people to spray tan them and more people to do makeup and hair and more people to train people in the gym. I say it's good for business and it's good for the sport and it's healthy for the sport, don't you?
Well, I think they should be called internet pros rather than competitive pros because there's probably out of all the amount of pro cards that are given out, I'd probably only 50% ever compete in the pro ranks. A lot of them get their pro card just so they can put on their business card or put on their Facebook page.
Right.
They're a pro and they never compete in the pro ranks where there's been a lot of great amateurs. I know some here in Australia that never took a pro card and they've made more money actually being amateur than actually because if they went into the pro ranks, they would get lost in the lineups and stuff. They'd probably never get a call out, and the money they'd have to spend to getting ready for pro shows, they're better off staying and being a top amateur.
Right. Or what they do in boxing is if you want to fight as an amateur, you fight as an amateur. If you want to turn pro, you turn pro. You can just do it on your own. You don't have to win anything to turn pro. In other words, so
no, you just go pay for your pro card and off you go.
Right, because you know what? I know in our sport, earning a pro card is like almost like a diploma, like from college or something like that. But in essence, for a lot of people, it's really a death toll because you get a pro card, but then where do you go? You got to compete with all these people that you can't beat anymore. So it's almost like you're better off staying as an amateur. A perfect example was Jose Raymond could have earned his pro card probably 5 years before he actually took the pro card because but he knew he wasn't ready. So he said, he won the lightweight class. I forget where, at the Nationals or something like that. And then he turned it down. And then he won the bantamweight class and he turned it down. And then he won the middleweight class. And then I think he finally took it. But, I think he earned like 3 or 4, pro qualifying events. But he was smart. He was like, I'm not ready yet. So why am I going to take it? And then finally he agreed to take it. And then I think the 212 class came out, which was perfect for him. So, it is what it is, really.
Yeah, it's like... I think people just take it now. The ones who don't compete, they just take it, like I said, more for if they're, like you said, going to be coaches or they've got a training thing at their gym just so they can say they're professional now and stuff like that. So I guess they can
it definitely is
charge an extra $50.
But you know what? Also, if there's more ability to turn pro, more people will compete because people are they're like status mongers. You know that. They want status. They want it to be validated. So to say I got a pro card, even though they may never, ever do anything as a pro, it doesn't matter. At least they can wave it in people's faces and say, here,
well, you don't want to
I spent $8,000 in applications and travel and spray tanning, but I got a pro card at least out of it.
You don't want to compete in the Lee Priest Classic where, the winner could get a pro card, but that's up to me because the thing is, I decide, or the people decide, the committee can decide, because let's just say you have a whole heap of people up there and the overall winner can get a pro card. But if that
Mhm.
overall winner, if I look at them and go, listen, if this is our pro from Australia, we sent him to the professional universe or
Right.
professional world, and he's not good enough, what's the point of sending him? Where if he just gets there and he just looks like a
Right.
lackey type thing standing up there, it's like you want to send someone. That's why even in America, when they give out pro cards, it should be you could get a pro card at this show, but the judges have to determine, looking at that person on stage, is he going to make it as a pro, or maybe
Right.
give him another year, give him another 2 years, and then
Sure.
give him a pro card? Because then, like I said, if you want to go into the pro ranks, if you love competing, you want to be competitive. You don't just want to go up and stand there on stage. And like I said, all that time, money, and effort that goes into it, the whole training aspect
Right.
would just be a waste of time. So,
Well, that was the way it was back in the 90s and early 2000s. I mean, that it was about, were you ready to be a pro, and are you ready to go to the next level? Now it's not about that anymore. Like I said, it evolved. The sport has changed, and let's face it, it bothers people who are from the old system, because they feel like, well, I got cheated in some way. Because people always ask me that, like, yeah, you could have definitely got a pro card if the way it operated today operated in the 90s, you would have had a pro card easy. And I said, they're like, does that bother you? I said, no, because when I competed, my placings actually carried more weight, even though I didn't get a pro card, because it was so hard, And so, you got to just accept the time you're from, and that the fact that the sport is going to change and evolve, and that it's good. It's good for business, and it's good for us. What we're doing now.
imagine if they did it in other. Imagine if they did it in other sports, professional sports, where they just gave them out. We have the Olympic Games and the 1,000-meter, and here he comes. He's won it in 5 minutes 6.
Yeah.
Here we have Dave Palumbo.
Right.
Dave Palumbo won his pro card somewhere else. 2 hours. He's 2 hours later. He's still got another 30
The difference
meters.
is that if you run 11 seconds in the 100, and the guys winning the 100 meters are running 9.54, whatever they're running, you're going to be like at the starting line when they're done, and so it's not going to look too good for you. But
You're
speaking of the Olympics,
yeah.
I got to mention this just because we've been talking a lot about Olympics, more so with the we've been talking more about the transgenders, but Sha'Carri Richardson, who won the 100 meters at the Olympic trials, and seems to be, she reminds me of
I like her outfit.
Yeah, she's like the Florence Griffith Joyner of
Exactly.
the new era.
She
failed a drug test.
Does that help? Does that help, the piece on her arm when she's running, or what?
I think it's just a style statement, like her hair is. But and I like her look. I think it's got it's the first person I can remember since FloJo and back in the day, who really stuck out. And you know what?
And she's got tattoos.
She got everything. She's like, just like, here I am. This is who I am. But I heard, you get the news, she failed a drug test. So I'm thinking, oh man, what a dummy. What did she fail for? Winstrol or Anavar. So I'm trying to think of like what she failed for. And it's like pot, like marijuana. And I'm thinking to myself, how stupid does this girl have to be? Okay. She's just won the Olympic trials. Okay. She's going to the Olympics. She's got the best chance of winning a gold medal for America. She's got everything going for her. She knows the rules. She beat, obviously, whatever steroid test are. She goes and smokes a joint. I mean, it's on the fucking list. It's not whether, and everyone's saying I get these petitions in my emails to sign, because she's from Oregon, and in Oregon, pot is legal, marijuana is illegal, but in running, it's not legal. And she knows that. Why, and I know I watched an interview with her. She said that she was doing an interview with some reporter, and he told her she found out from the reporter that on the air that her biological mother, who she really wasn't, close with, had passed away. And she was so distraught afterwards. And she took it right. She took responsibility for what she did. She felt that was the way she needed to relieve her stress, and she did it. And she knew she did it. But I'm thinking to myself, what you're not like a regular person. You're going to the Olympics.
Exactly.
You sacrificed everything in your life, your training, everything. It's like the guy going to Mr. Olympia, and he goes to the buffet, the Chinese buffet, like the night before. I mean, come on.
Well, you figure, yes, it would have been sad finding out about your mother, but you figure if it's only a month away, going to the Olympics, winning gold, and winning that gold for your mother, that sort of thing would have been
right. You dedicate the win to her, exactly, Lee.
But even the whole thing from Oregon's an excuse. That'd be like people that come to America and start selling pot and shit, saying, "Well, I'm originally from Amsterdam. We're allowed to sell fucking pot over there." It's like,
But
well, okay.
they know the rules. They asked Biden.
Mhm.
Did you see that? I'm surprised Biden even knew what the
Yeah.
freak was going on.
I
when they asked him.
saw AOC, Cortez there, the fucking weirdo, looks like an alien. She's trying to play the race card with it. I'm like, really? You're going to pull the race card on this?
Yeah,
It's
like only
come
black
on.
people smoke marijuana, right? I mean, I mean, come on. There's no
But how
racial
can
discrimination.
you even play the race card in the Olympics like the other one that turned the back when they go on about racism? When
Right.
I'm not sure what it is, but come on, at least when I watch the Olympics, it's almost like 70% of the American team are African American. So you can't if America's such a racist country, they wouldn't be picking black people to represent them. That'd be like Hitler back in the day when he had the Olympics, picking all the Jews to represent Germany. It's like you're like, shut the fuck up, will you? It's like, come on.
Look, they know the rules. If you smoke a joint, okay, and you fail for marijuana, okay, and it's funny because the suspension is only a month. I don't know why marijuana is not as bad as steroids, but it's only a month. But obviously the Olympics are coming up, so she's going to miss it. Now they asked President Biden, about the whole thing, and do you think it's fair? Now people don't realize, even though he's out of his mind, the guy. He's the guy who back in 1990 was endorsing the steroid witch hunt that they went on. Yeah, because I interviewed Aaron Baker. I forgot this, but Aaron said the reason why they drug tested the Olympia and the USA the year he won it in 1990 was because Biden was putting the pressure on everyone to do drug testing. And that's why Vince McMahon obviously got into all that rigmarole with the drug testing, the WWE wrestlers and all that stuff. Because it was Biden. He was a senator at the time, and he was the one pushing that bill, ironically enough. So they asked him, what does he think about Sha'Carri Richardson's failed drug? He's like, I feel bad for her, but that's the rules. What are they going to say?
I'm surprised you didn't go, sharks. The sharks are very dangerous. I don't go swimming in the ocean.
Right.
Joe's like, I like pot. Pot's very good. It relaxes the little kids. It relaxes the children.
Yeah, it is kind of weird though, because in this country now, I mean, look, she could have gone out and got drunk off her ass and she would have been fine, because that's not illegal. Now
it's like anything. It's like jobs. You got jobs here in Australia. If you're a truck driver, if you're anything like that, if you can't, they get drug tested a bit because they're driving long distance in the trucks and stuff. And if you fail a drug test, you lose your trucker's license and stuff like that. So you lose your job. It's like you just know.
Why do you think all police officers drink? Because it's legal. They know they can't smoke pot and snort cocaine because they'll lose their job. So if they want to go out and relax, they have alcohol because that's legal. Now the question is, if it would be interesting, if they make marijuana legal, well, it's almost legal, but if let's say it's legal everywhere, and the IOC changes their rule because now marijuana is considered legal because it obviously doesn't have any performance enhancing, abilities. It's not like it made her a better runner because she smoked a joint.
Make you go to sleep, wouldn't it? Really?
I know, who knows? So if they change the rule, I mean, that's a different story. But the IOC right now, that's the rule. So when you're depressed and you want to let go or you want to relax a little bit, you go out and have a couple shots of vodka or a couple glasses of wine, and you're fine. So that stupidity drives me crazy, I think she's accepting it. She's accepted responsibilities. I'm not trying to say she's making excuses and saying, calling,
I think from what I've seen, she's accepted it better than half the other people. It seems like all the other people,
because she knows.
And the woke crowd seems to be firing up all this bullshit and stuff about. And she's like, look, I accept what I did, and that's so.
Yeah, right. And I thought that was very mature of her, but for some reason, it bothers me so much that this girl, who is amazing at running, and that she obviously dedicated a tremendous amount of her life to this, had this amazing ability, this gift to go to the Olympics. She's running the best, races of her life now, and now she can't go for some stupid thing she did. It's like my son. We want to go take him to out to eat, and at the last minute he has a temper tantrum and blows it for himself, and now we can't. No, he doesn't get to go out to eat. I feel the same way. Like it's like I'm sure they didn't want to take it away from her, but you have to because you have a rule in place, and you have to enforce the law. And that's the way it goes.
I know. Maybe she'll get lucky and they'll postpone the games a week or two.
There you go. And then right, exactly. Maybe someone can release another strain of COVID out there and save her. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's over there, so it could happen.
Speaking about people you don't expect to compete, what have you been following this whole Kai Green thing?
Oh yes, I brought that up before. Remember on the last show we did?
Yeah, well, now he's. It's interesting because I didn't know. I didn't realize maybe is a better thing that Kai, and I saw this because George Farah posted on his Twitter a picture that we just started rep or I think he put like something to the degree of we just started prep or something like that for Kai Green. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Hold on.
Yeah, but that could be prep for anything. Prep for a movie, prep for a training.
Nah. George is implying that they're prepping for something. So I don't know. Let's see. Hold on a second.
I saw Nick Strength from Power said something about him, or he got upset about him, or something. Or
what happened? I don't watch the channel. What did Nick's Strength and Power have?
I don't know. He said that Kai called him out on something, but he wasn't going to reply on his station, so he did it on his vlog station.
Oh my god! Yeah, these guys.
I'm not going to reply to this, but I am replying to it. But I'm
just not going to reply here. So you got to join my other site too to watch it. No, but George, posted this. And
that's a nice outfit he's got on.
Yeah, it is. He looks like he's going to be in the next edition of Game of Thrones. No, but George posted, we started back 4 weeks ago, and Kai is already looking freaky. Agree. Now, I don't know why Kai would start working with George if he wasn't planning to get ready for something. Now, is he getting ready for a movie, or is he getting ready to maybe compete again? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, now that I see this, that's different than Kai teasing it. Now you got George teasing it too,
I'm still thinking maybe when he signed the Redcon, maybe in there was a thing that he had to compete. But I know people are complaining and talking about he shouldn't get an invite. So if he gets an invite, people are going to be pissed about that. So they're saying he should have to compete to qualify. So giving him an invite is going to piss people off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tyler Mannion said something last year to that degree that they wouldn't be handing out special invites so easily this year. And so I don't know if that applies to Kai, because Kai is kind of a special case. But, I mean, he only has a couple of options to qualify, right? We got Tampa coming up, and what else? There's only like one other show, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, because the Arnold's not. Maybe he's going to do the Arnold. Even though
maybe he'll just do the Arnold, right? Yeah, right. Now, what do you do? Let's say Kai jumped in the Arnold, Lee. If Kai jumps in the Arnold, contacts Lorma, Lorma invites him, he does the Arnold, and he wins. Now, if you're the Olympia people, don't you have to almost invite Kai to the Olympia? I mean, special invite him at that point. If he's in shape, and he's like, yeah, I want to do it.
I would then, because even though it's not a qualifier, he's beat a lot of people in the Arnold who are doing the Olympia. So to me, that would almost make, okay, you've qualified, so here you go. But then those people who are in the Arnold, who are qualified for Olympia, who he beat, they're going to be pissed if he goes to Olympia, because they'd be like, it's not a qualifying show. He shouldn't be allowed to come to the Olympia.
Well, it would have to be a special invite they'd have to give him. They'd have to give him a special invite is what would happen. Now, I think at that point, if he actually put on the posing trunks, got on stage, won legitimately, and then wanted actually to go to the Olympia, because those are a lot of what ifs, for Kai, to have to get through. There's a lot of hurdles you got to jump through. But assuming that's what happened, you have to give the guy an invite, right? I mean, Dan would be crazy not to petition for an invite there, because that thing is going to blow that Olympia up if he would show up, obviously.
Well, I said, you'll have a lot of happy people and a lot of unhappy people. So it would be like,
well, looking at how Kai looks, I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think that Kai could win the Arnold? I mean, does he still have the tool set?
Well, going by that photo, it's hard to say, but he still looks like he's got the thickness and stuff. And like I said, I'm sure, he hasn't been, I'm sure he's probably been, I can't really say, but, I'm sure he's probably been using a little bit, but I'm sure he's not going to the degree.
A little bit. He looks pretty, George said they started 4 weeks ago. I'm assuming that means that they're, back on the program.
But look at Kai for the last few years, though, has still looked pretty freaky and thick and full. And I couldn't see him going crazy on all the supplements just if he's not competing. So I'm sure he's just using a little bit.
Maybe he is, but maybe he wants to. That's a legitimate, recent picture. That's not like Kai. He said Kai claims his weight is 317. Did you read this?
Yeah, 317.
Kai saying he's 317.
What's Kai? He's only 5'9". Is he 5'8", 5'9"?
Yeah, I don't think he's 317. Do you?
Well, You have to have heavy bones. Like, what was
That's a lot of weight for a not 5'8" or 9" person, right?
I know. What's his heaviest he can? I just got to turn my fan off. It's 6 degrees. I got the fan going. I'm a bit cold. Hold on.
All right. Well, I mean, I think Kai used to compete about 255 when it was all said and done. You know, when he would suck out, he would start, pretty high, and then he would come down. I don't think he's ever been 315. However,
No. What's his contest weights normally when he last competed?
I think he's in the 255 range in there.
Yeah. So if he's 317, looking like that, it looks like.
Either he put on a lot of muscle or he's holding a shitload of water. I don't know what the case may be. I'm sure he's not that hard from behind.
Yeah, but 317 there, you'd have to say he'd be on stage at 280, wouldn't you?
No, I know. I that's what you'd assume, right? I mean, I don't know. Unless I think he's jacking up the weight. I think he's probably maybe 300 there, maybe, maybe 295.
Maybe they meant 271. They're a bit dyslexic or something.
Yeah,
with
maybe.
The numbers.
You never know. You never know.
But they'll say anything to cause talk, We're talking about it, saying 317. Wow.
Well, I mean, you have to talk about it. If someone else put a picture up,
what's Rami in the off season when he's not competing?
I think they said he was 340 the other day, but who knows?
Anything over 300's a lot. So it's like,
yeah. I asked Aceto this question, a couple weeks ago, and he said that Rami would not be beat. Kai couldn't beat Rami, but what do you think? Can Kai beat Rami?
I think so. I think, because like I said, Rami's big in areas and he's got the width and muscle mass. But even when you look at someone even like Hardy, if Hardy come in super shredded and dry, even though he's short, I think he could push Rami. There's a few people I think could push Rami because, like I said, Rami's a big guy, naturally big guy. But right. I think a Rolly Winkler in crisp condition could push Rami because Rolly's got that thickness everywhere and looks more like a complete bodybuilder. Like Phil Heath at his best could easily beat Rami. So it's like, Rami's this big guy and he's impressive, but when you get someone that's just more complete and flows better, I think anyone could give him anyone like Kai or Rolly or even, like I said, the little Bonac shredded, because he's shorter, they probably wouldn't give it to him, but he looks more complete to me. Whereas, like I said, Rami's a big guy, but I think some other people look more complete when they're in shape and shredded.
What do you think? What do you think about this picture? Hold on, let me pull this up. Hold on. Talking about Rolly Winkler, since we were talking about him, look at this freak shot.
And that's that magic lighting again in that same spot.
I don't care magic anything. That guy he's pretty freaking hard in that picture too. I mean, I don't think he was ever that hard on stage, was he?
That's what I mean. How he looks there, if he just tanned up and cut a little bit of water, he could walk on stage like that and you think he would win it or be top 3 easy.
I mean, right? I mean, I don't know if that picture is super filtered or anything like that, but I mean, it looks, to me, it's pretty freaky, man.
Looking at him like that, you'd think that's a Arnold Classic winner there if he comes in like that.
Yeah, who could beat him? I mean, he's he's crazy there. I mean, so a lot of what ifs though. That's where we're finding out. And the speculation is nice, but you know what? I want to bite the Kai Green, cookie, but at the same time, he's done this every single year for the last 5 years, dangling that little cookie in front of our face right before the Olympia. He always does it right before the Olympia too. I would be more likely to believe it if it was a little earlier, but there's really not that much time left here. If he's 319, how the freak is he going to get in shape, to do a qualifier,
And the thing is too, look, Kai can get attention just being Kai. It's not like he needs the attention. If you're going to do it, just say you're going to fucking do it. It's like, I'm sure the promoter would want you to say you're going to do it now so people can get excited and buy tickets or whatever. So if you're going to do it, just say you're doing it. Stop the, speculation, and this, because Kai puts up a picture, he's going to get attention. Kai puts up a video, he's going to get attention. So he doesn't need to say he's going to compete to get attention. I think that turns people off. They just start hating him. So just say you're going to do the fucking show. Just do it.
You're right. You're right.
I've spoken on the 4th of July.
That's right.
I did see some people complaining about the 4th of July, about saying it wasn't good and that they're playing the race card again, Dave. But you know what I think? When I lived in America, I was like, you've had a black president, you got black mayors, you got black people in movies, you got black people who are top athletes making millions. Look, if you're a black person, white, Hispanic, whatever, you can do anything you want in America today. You got the same opportunities. The only thing holding you back is your thing. I said, if anyone's going to complain in America and they want to hold rallies and they want to have peaceful protest rights, I mean, would be the Native American Indians. Why aren't they out there fucking burning and looting and doing shit? Because they fucking had shit taken from them and
No, because we
killed.
killed them all off. There's not enough of them left. That's what the problem is. You know?
They're too busy playing blackjack at the casino. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. We gave them some casinos to keep them quiet for the ones that are still around. You know, we were smart. You guys are gonna have to do that with the Aborigines. You guys are gonna have to give the Aborigines some casinos over there.
If anyone's going to complain in America, it should be the Native American Indians more than the black people, because you black people have it 10 times better than Native American Indians. So shut the fuck up.
All right, I want to ask before
take all your drug money from the down Compton and go play at the casinos and support the Native American Indians.
That's right. Before we start talking about some shows this past weekend, I want to ask you one more question. Okay, your opinion. Bill Cosby released from prison. What do you think about that?
Good. I think it's great. And you're calling, people are calling America a racist country. Yeah. Look at Bill. He got white privilege, didn't he? Huh?
I still don't know why they released him. Do you? Do you know the exact reason?
Yeah, they said that the prosecutor before there was some deal done where it couldn't go to trial or something. But really, look at Bill, and then the woman who said he raped her, she was that basketballer and stuff. She looked, nothing against her, but she looks like a lesbian, right? So
yeah,
really, if I was going to rape her, I would have to take the fucking drugs. Not give them to her because
but there was a lot of other women that came forward also.
They're just jumping on they're just jumping on the Huxtable bandwagon. They're just jumping on the.
You know what? I'll say this. I'm going to go say this on the record. If Cosby's out of jail now, if Sean Roden gets put in prison, I'm gonna. That people should be outraged by that, because I haven't seen one woman come forward other than the accuser.
Well, next week it should be okay. We should see Cosby and OJ playing golf together, high-fiving each other.
He should. Yeah, all I know is Roden should hire Cosby's lawyer, because Cosby's lawyer obviously was pretty damn good if he got him out of jail.
Yeah. There's something to do with that. It was never meant to have. There was some deal done before, so he did what he did 2 years, didn't he? Or
I don't even know. OJ and Cosby should go live together. They should put them in a halfway house together.
They could do a TV show together.
They should do a reality show.
the juice and the drink.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable.
Well, that's what,
we live in such an insane society. There's no evenness across the board. Everyone's got their own little, I know this person, I got that one. I'm going to get out of here. I got to bet a lawyer. Money definitely helps get you off out of crime. There's no doubt about it. There's no white privilege. There's money privilege. If you're got money, it's a money privilege. That's exactly what it is. You called it.
Doesn't matter what color you are. If you've got the money and you're white, you can put your kids in the best schools. If you've got the money and you're black, your kids are going to the best schools, best.
That's right. So money speaks, man. No one cares about it.
Doesn't care about what color you are. If you move into a white neighborhood and you're a multi-millionaire, welcome, come on in. They don't care. Look at where LeBron and all them people are living. White neighborhoods, but they say it's racist, but they don't care because they got all the money. So it's a money thing, not a fucking privilege when it comes to skin color.
That's right. It's always been. But if you don't have money, forget about it. When I was in federal prison, I was in a very low. Obviously, I was in like a camp. It was like summer camp, but there were guys in there that. When let's say you get sentenced to 10 years in prison, when you're down to only a year or two left, they'll put you in if you behave yourself and you're a nonviolent criminal, they'll put you in a lower security prison. So I had a couple of guys in prison with me that were finishing out a 10-year sentence, and one of the guys was, when I first got there, was sharing the bunk. He was I was on the top, he was on the bottom bunk, and I said to him, I said, you're not really supposed to ask people, but you wind up asking him anyway. I said, what did you do to get here? Because he seemed like a nice guy. He was a black guy, and he's like, I sold 2 bags of crack or something like that, and in Washington, first of all, Washington, D.C. is not really a state, so it's considered federal offense if you do anything there. The guy got 10 years for selling 2 bags of fucking crack cocaine. I mean, he had no money. He had a public defender. They took a deal, and he got sentenced because it was his second offense or something like that. But the point is, the guy was not violent. He was He was a guy. He had a family. He just, he was taking he was lazy. That's all. He was wanting to sell drugs to make money. I mean, it wasn't the right thing to do. But Did he deserve 10 years in prison? No. He
That's
would've
what I
been-
think too.
If he
You
would
need to
have
look
had
at.
cash, he would have never done a day in prison.
Imagine if that was like Beyonce or Jay-Z's son, and
Right.
he got caught selling crack. Oh, little probation. You're right. And that's the
He would
thing
have been.
too. It's like,
You would have seen him on the side with the, picking up the garbage. The guys he would have done like 20 hours of community service. He would have been done.
and then
this
he would have
guy
got
did 10 years.
He would have got a reality show after that about it. And
Yeah.
10 years is like punishment should fit the crime. I've always thought, but the only reason it should be 10 years would be like if he's done it before, and he's had some other robbery charges. If you got a
If
list
it was
this
violent, different story.
Yeah.
Violent,
If you got a list this long, and they're like, look, mate, you've had this many chances, and this is the 10th time we've arrested you. You're going away. But if it's your first offense, it's like some of those ones that get put in there for selling marijuana and that. And people, like I said, sadly, more black people get put in jail. But like I said, too, it comes down to an economic thing. They can't get good lawyers, defendants, and all this sort of shit. Whereas the white preppy kid that's going to a nice college and he gets caught selling marijuana, along comes dad, who's probably an attorney anyway, pays the right people, he's out. So it doesn't come down to privilege. It just comes down to what we said before, the almighty dollar.
You called it. You said it. And that's exactly right.
That's right.
Lee Priest has spoken.
On July 4th. What's that fucking Australian even doing talking on July 4th? It's not even American.
That's right. Not even an American holiday. All right. I wanted to just briefly mention the Dallas Europa show is this past weekend. You remember when the Dallas Europa Pro used to be like a big men's open bodybuilding show? I mean, that was one of the biggest. I don't know why they got rid of open bodybuilding. I just don't.
Yeah,
I guess they didn't want to pay the prize money.
I saw a photo of Ed and Betty still doing the show. They've been doing that since how long? How long now?
They've started a long time ago. You remember? I think it used to be called the Southwest Pro Show, and then then Dallas, then the Europa, distribution company teamed up with them and sponsored all their shows. And they have Dallas, Orlando. I don't know if they have any other ones. They used to have like one in Connecticut, and then they moved. Remember, they had one year they had it in Atlantic City. But it was always men's open. It was like the big shows of the year. And I guess they just got sick of, forking out that cash for the prize money because they felt like the competitors were not appreciating it. But they still have it. They had the men's physique this past
Remember
week.
Betty too used to come in great shape. They used to do a most muscular like Matarazzo and stick a tongue out.
Yeah, Betty, people don't realize Betty competed well into her 50s and she was awesome. It wasn't like she was just good. She was winning shows. Yeah, she was winning shows. Let me see. I don't think for some reason this is not popping up. Let me see.
It's going to be porn, Dave. You clicked on the wrong one.
Yeah. After I clicked on Bill Cosby, all I'm getting porn on my computer now. I don't understand what's going on,
You get ads for roofies.
Yeah.
Are you having trouble sleeping?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, you're funny.
Try these Somnix.
Let me see if I can.
Not getting laid enough? Get 2 Viagra and 3 Somnix to help you hard and keep her asleep.
Yeah. Ramsey Rams. What a name.
Ramsey
if your last name is, the guy looks like a nice guy, but I haven't really talked to him. But if your last name is Rams, why would your parents name you Ramsey's Rams?
Well, I know some people that names are like Peter Peterson. I'm thinking, why couldn't you come up with a different name than Peter Peterson? It's like,
my aunt's name is Patty, and Patricia. So she was Patty Palumbo. She said she got tortured in school. PP. So when I named my kids, I was very careful to not give them any names where there was it could be nicknames that were tortured.
I didn't want to call him Paulie Palumbo.
Paulie Palumbo. Yeah. No 2 P's. Nothing.
Yeah, but it's not even the 2 P's. It's just like when your first name is almost identical to your last name. It's like silly.
Well, silly as it may seem, Ramsey's, if I'm pronouncing his first name right, won here. Really, the guy's got a really good physique. Men's physique, I just don't think gets the credit it deserves because I think people still think of it as like, all right, well, it's not really, you don't really showing legs. I think if they were going to change a division out there, that they should put these guys in some kind of trunks where you can see their legs.
In Australia, they do. They sort of wear almost like the classic, where they wear like they're almost like the big Arnold the big Arnold posing trunks where they're sort of like in between shorts and posing trunks. They're sort of
Why not? They're not
black.
hitting poses, but they at least I want to see their legs, and I want to see their legs flexed in the standing relaxed position. I think that would bring a better, because I saw a picture. I got to see if I can find it. Brandon Hendrickson, who's the Olympian.
What would help them too is if they stop doing this.
Well, yeah. Some of this stuff on stage.
Like just put your arm out. Just put your arm out to the side. But when they go twirly, when they're doing fancier movements than the girls, and that leg out to the side and the hand like this looks like a hooker on Sunset waiting for a trick to come down the street. So it's just like, look at me, boys. I got my hand out, boys. Look at me. Look at me. Swirl. It's like,
look,
stop doing that. Let
me show you. This is why I think they got the right Olympia champ in there. But imagine if you had Brandon Hendrickson, okay, on stage with actually, look, you can see the guy's got legs. He's the Olympia champ in men's physique. He's got legs.
Imagine if they called him Henry Hendrickson. Yeah, like I said, just those little black. I said, like, you remember the little black hot skin shorts with training?
No, I know what you're talking about. But look, I see he's got legs. You should have legs. There's no reason why you shouldn't have legs. That's a complete physique.
Yeah. If he had black tights on, you'd still see the legs, but not posing trunks, just those little black shorts.
Right. But I'm saying you do understand, like he has a complete physique. I think that's a much more, number one, marketable look. Number two, I think it would encourage more people, and I think the division would be taken more seriously because you'd be like, holy mackerel, that's what I want to look like. I don't want to look like a guy with no legs.
People who can't, Dave, you've just got rid of 50% of the gym saying you don't want to look like a guy with no legs. Because
am I limiting the division league?
Yes, you just did. You just lost half of it.
I just lost half the division.
But it looks like he could do good in classic even.
No, well, he had talked to me originally when I had interviewed him a few years ago. He was saying he wanted to go to the Open eventually. But I think he would be a great classic guy. Mm-hmm. If he wins the Olympia again this year, he should move up to classic just to prove people. Because I don't think there's been no one to win two divisions, the Olympia in two divisions.
I don't even know why they don't have, like, when you see them in their board shorts that come to the knees, I'd say 80% don't have calves. So why don't they just wear like jeans?
Right. You might as well wear long spandex pants, right? Or something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
Skinny jeans. They can wear those skinny jeans. It's like when you got a big Ford 250 truck and you put little tires on it. That's what it looks like when they've got their skinny jeans on. That have a big upper body and these little legs. It's just like when people have a big truck with little tires. Looks ridiculous.
I don't know why they won't show their change it so they can see legs on stage. I'm telling you, I think it would be
because they don't have legs, Dave. It's like if you're in a locker room and it's a cold day, you're not going to get naked.
Well, let them make it so that you need legs. I think that's the way to fix the division. Not that it needs to be fixed, but I mean, it couldn't hurt.
If you don't have them, you're not going to show it. If you're in the locker room and you got a porn star cock, you're just going to rip your pants down. You don't care. But if it's cold and you got this stuck up like a stack of quarters, you're not taking your pants off in the change room, are you?
No, maybe not. I don't know. You never know. I just think that would add another level of like acceptance to the sport, to the division. I really do. I mean, it's the only division in any of the divisions, men or women, that where you don't show the whole body, right? I mean, come on. It's got to be something wrong with that, don't you think?
Well, yeah, they might have just, like I said, wear the skinny jeans because the board shorts go to the knees and half of them don't have calves. So figure the money you could save. You only got to tan your upper body. Then you can save money. Look, she's got better legs.
I'm very impressed. I want to bring this up. We don't usually talk about the women that much on the show, unfortunately, because we only have so much time. But Jessica Padilla, first of all, I don't even know how many shows she's won, but she's won so many figure shows over the last couple of years. I mean, this girl has got she can do women's physique easily if she wanted to. Yeah. I mean, she wins another show. She wins the Europa here again. I mean, this girl is kind of like what Milos was to men's bodybuilding. She just competes over and over and over again, and she's always in shape, and she wins shows, and she's cleaning up, this girl. I think she's one of the few that are not afraid to get out there and compete several times a year, and I wouldn't be surprised if she might even be Olympia champ at some point. I don't know about this year, but she could win the Olympia.
Exactly. And if you enjoy competing and you love the sport, and women, some do in the bodybuilding, but not I figure that women like her, they wouldn't be pushing any hard substances. So it's like you could compete over and over. It just comes down to your mental strength, and if you love doing it. If you love doing it like some women do love doing it, they love getting out there because, let's face it, a lot of women stay in shape more than the men do. So for them preparing for a show, I wouldn't say it's easier, but, they don't have that much weight variance to lose like some men do when they bulk up. So a lot of women prefer to stay in shape all year round. So if you can compete and do it. She might become like the Dexter Jackson and win all the titles.
I think she's smart. I think that I don't know. I just think that a lot of women are not realizing that they have an opportunity, if you're good, to actually make some money. And I don't know. I think they're missing the boat. I really do. But what do I know? All right, I want to talk about. There was also the NPC Team Universe this past week, and we mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. And I'm not going to go through all the winners because there's a million winners and there's a million people who got programs. I just want to say congratulations, everyone, because there was some great talent. I helped a lot of people in that show, and I was been looking at pictures all weekend long, and people have been sending me videos, and I was very impressed with the level of what was out there.
How many competitors all up did they have in it?
Hundreds. There might have been 1,000. I don't know. But they moved. They moved the show. The show was in South Carolina. It wasn't in New Jersey like it's been. They went down to South Carolina because I think it's a little more lenient down there. But
could have sent Romano to report on it. It's just
I know. It was an impossible show to report on because there was so many people in it. But I'll say this: bodybuilders could give a shit about holidays. You could hold these shows on Christmas weekend, and I guarantee you will not have one less. You might have more people because people, I'm off work, I could do the show. It's amazing how bodybuilders do not care. I remember when I did the Junior USA I think it was 1994 for the first time. It was in Chicago, and it was on Easter Sunday weekend, and everyone's gonna there's gonna be no one there, and I'm telling you, everyone showed up. It was a stacked lineup, and people went home. I actually wound up getting stuck. I don't know why I couldn't get a flight out on Sunday. I left on Monday, and I remember the only thing open in Chicago was McDonald's. Thank God, because I love McDonald's.
Nothing
after a show, you want to eat. I must have eaten at McDonald's about 6 times.
You could have eaten Easter eggs. Well, even though it's not like it is a huge show, but on July 4th, the Muscle Beach down at Venice, it always had a lot of competitors, great crowd down there because you got tourists, you got the people that want to come see it, and it's always packed out the Muscle Beach July 4th show and stuff, and it's always great. So
you understand what I'm talking about. Bodybuilders, you could ask a bodybuilder, what's the holiday? They wouldn't even know. I didn't even know when the holidays would fall. I was in my own little world. I was like, I'm going to the gym, and you know what? And I always made sure I worked out at Bev's gym here on Long Island when I was when I was on Long Island, because he never closed the gym. His gym was open on Christmas. I never went on Christmas, but sometimes I think I might have a couple times. Bodybuilders do not care what's going on around them. It's their own world. If they have an off day and they can sync it up with a holiday, then great. If not, they go into the gym in the morning before they go to their relatives' houses. That's just the way it works.
I'd run the contest. If I was a promoter, I'd run the contest on July 3rd, and some of the entry money that people pay to get in, the next day I'd have a seminar somewhere and have a big July 4th barbecue with all the competitors and whoever comes along.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Back in the day, Craig Titus and Kelly Ryan was the after party. People definitely showed up for those. That's for sure.
Craig and Kelly showed up to a lot of my barbecues at my place.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you were. Lee wasn't a partier, but he would definitely. If there was an occasion where there was food being served, he showed up. That's for sure.
I think I never went to any. The only after parties I went to were the ones that we had to go to, like the VIP one. After
they made you, like Wayne D'Amelio made you go. Yeah.
No, I'd always just leave the show, go to the hotel, have a quiet dinner.
Lee wanted to rent the movie. You go back to the room and rent the movie, guaranteed.
Well, every time I guest pose, promoters would always thank me because I'd go somewhere to guest pose. And it's like, okay, Lee, after the guest posing, what do you want to do? Do you want to go out here and eat? Do you want to go to strip clubs? I said, no, I'm happy to go back to my room. They'd be like, oh, great. That's so great. I can go home to my wife and kids early. So they're like, when we had such and such here and such here, we had to go to the strip clubs around 4 a.m. and stuff. I said, no, let's go back to my room. They thought I was great. Oh, you just take me back to the hotel. Sometimes I didn't want to, because like I said, I'm not really for going out. So I might just, if they say to what restaurant do you want to go to, I just like the hotel's got a restaurant. Let's just eat there. I'm close to my room. I can just go upstairs rather than
you're a homebody.
have to
You
go
don't
out
have to go
somewhere.
anywhere. Yeah, you were smart. You were smart. Kept you out of trouble too. But but I do want to mention one person just because, it's a good story. I helped this girl, Donna Sterling, back in 1995. She won the NPC Junior USA Women's Bodybuilding overall. And if you remember, back then there was only bodybuilding. So it was a big show.
Uh-huh.
And she went to the US. What?
And she's still competing today.
Well, listen, no, she went to the USA. After that, she placed top 5. And then life happened. She had triplets. She just didn't have time. She quit bodybuilding basically and didn't compete for 25 years. I don't even know I don't think she even worked out. She was doing like aerobics classes she was teaching and stuff like that. But she was taking care of her kids and raising her kids. 25 years later, or it was really 20 years later, she kind of contacted me, said, I really want to get back into competing. She wanted to do a figure show. I'm like, oh my God. She had no muscle left whatsoever. And, I helped her because I had helped her before and I was friends with her. And, I wanted to, inspire her. And so every year she would compete and she started adding back muscle. And I said, you're not a figure competitor. You're a women's physique competitor. You always were. If they would have had that division back then, you would have been a pro. I said, because she was a little on the smaller side for women's bodybuilding. And so, finally I convinced her to stop doing these stupid figure shows that she wasn't placing at. And she started doing women's physique and she was doing well, And this year she turned 50. So she got to do the 50 and over division. And I knew this was her year. Because I said, there's no 50-year-olds that would beat her. And she won her pro card. And it's a great story because, she was a single mom, because she got divorced from her husband. She raised triplets, herself, essentially. They just all graduated this past year. And it's a good feel-good story, to kind of end the show with. The take-home message here, guys, is never quit. Never give up your dream. It's never too late to accomplish what you really want to accomplish in life.
And I'm sure for a woman too, a guy making a comeback because we have testosterone, we can pump the gear in more.
Right.
I'm sure it's a lot easier. But if you're a woman, like you said, and you've gone through childbirth with 3 kids and raised them, just your female hormones and stuff, I'm sure it's a lot harder for a woman to make a comeback after 20 years.
And triplets. So, imagine what triplets do to your midsection, Lee Priest.
Imagine what triplets do to your fucking mind.
Her kids, and the great thing is her kids were all there with her. And then she says to me after the show, she's like, I think my daughter wants to compete. You're going to have to help her. I said, the next generation's coming up. And but once again, feel good story. And it just lets you, it just goes to show you, never let go of your dreams, because even if life happens and stuff gets in the way, always keep in the back of your head what you ultimately want to do, and you can get back to it, and obviously it didn't come back to her the way she thought it was going to happen, but she got back to it. And the funny thing is, it took her a while to put that muscle back on. Like you said, muscle doesn't come back so easily when you're older, but you're going through that now with the, with the surgery you had and trying to get that right side of your body up to par with the left side, which, by the way, before I end the show, everyone's been asking me, I've been answering questions on Ask Dave, will Lee Priest be on stage in 2022?
Who knows?
I've been telling people you want to.
I'm gonna have people hate me like Kai Green. That fucker just keeps saying it.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to start putting some shots up for yourself now. You got to start taking some crazy posing shots.
When I tan up,
hang the cookie out, hang the Mr. G cookie out there for them.
Exactly. Oh well, that reminds me. I got to go do a Mr. G eating the chocolate video for him.
Oh, really? Yeah, he especially after what's going on with him and Big Lenny now, which we'll talk about on After Hours tomorrow. Tomorrow on Tuesday night, so on Tuesday afternoon. But
I'll
anyway,
have to come on an After Hours show one day.
If we can get you up early enough. Well, you always wake up. I got to tell you, if I tell Lee we're going to do a show, he'll wake up at 1 a.m. and do it. You're pretty good like that. I don't know if I would have given up my sleep so generously as you do.
Oh,
But you're from that school of thought. You when you were in California, you were getting up at like probably 4 or 5 in the morning anyway to train, right?
I was at the World Gym at 5, 5:30.
Yeah. So you're used to that. You like that.
I used to always do videos saying the only ones out of bed right now are me and the criminals.
Well, you know what? I've gotten up early. I've been getting up a lot earlier because my kids now are in school and everything like that. And I will say this: you get a lot more done earlier. If you start your day earlier, you don't have to stay up till 3 in the morning like I normally do to get all my work done.
I get up at 4. I'll get up, have breakfast, take the wife to work. I'll train. I'll do laundry. I'll clean the house. Right. And I sit down. I'm like, oh fuck, it's only 10 o'clock. What am
But I understand where you're coming from, but you do, and you can go to sleep at a normal time, assuming that, I don't have screaming kids in the house, but
I start dozing off about 8:30, 9, watching TV. Then I just go to bed.
yeah. I'm looking forward to. They opened a new Crunch Fitness here in Cape Coral, so we're going to sign up for that. Now, all my kids will be in school officially starting at the end of August. So once that happens, we're going to take turns, my wife and I, going to a real gym and training. And if I get my training done early in the day, then that's another thing I don't have to do at 11 o'clock at night.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to after hours in 2 months' time. Or Dave, welcome to RX Muscle. I got a rant. My wife and I have just joined Crunch Fitness. I've been there for a week and I got fucking COVID. I got fucking COVID. It's first time out of the house. I go back to a gym and I got COVID.
I'm the kind of person that I do like to talk to people, but I don't go, when I go to the gym, I try to stay away from everyone. Do people come up to me and ask me questions? And I'm sure that happens to you too, but I don't socialize with a lot of people at the gym. I go there to work out and I leave. That's if you start hanging out with people and for 2-3 hours, of course you're around. You leave yourself open to a bigger risk. But I'm in and out. I don't even want to be honest with you. I don't even want to go to the gym. If I had all that equipment in my house, I would never even leave I would never go to the gym anymore. So
exactly.
That's a possibility later down the road. But I'm not ready to go there yet. But anyway, we're running out of time. Lee, I want to thank you for taking time on your. I guess this is technically your Monday, so it's not really your Sunday. I don't feel too guilty of taking away your weekend. But happy 4th of July, even though you're a transplant. And
yes, thank you. I expect a happy birthday tomorrow when it's your 5th.
It's not your birthday yet, so why don't you? Maybe you should come on to After Hours for your birthday.
It would be my birthday when After Hours is on, won't it?
Yeah. So why don't you come on for After Hours for your birthday? This way,
I want Mr. G to have a cake.
He can have a little birthday cake for you. How old? Now, how are you going to be? 49?
Yeah, 49.
All right. Well, next year's the big one, so you could do Masters Nationals next
Maybe
year.
I'll be in
you're
America.
Already a pro.
I'll be in America for the 50.
You actually might have to actually
50.
requalify to get your pro card. Who knows, right?
I might. That's okay. I told you I'm doing the women's.
Don't smoke any dope in case they drug test. All right, I gotta wrap this up, guys.
Exactly.
I hope you have a great 4th of July. I'm very patriotic today here. Lee's very patriotic with his shirt on, and as we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
It sure does. Good night, everyone.
Live free.